Joe the Runner with JoeRandini.com. This vlog is going to be about the first wave of preparation for the 100-mile race I'm going to run in December of 2018 called the Devil Dog Ultras.
Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody ask me how I know.
Whenever we are looking at preparing for any race, whether it's a 10K or a marathon, generally I like to kind of start with the platform of, what do I need to do to be successful in the goal? Or in this particular case, I've asked the question, what do I need to become to run 100 miles? And from that, I kind of can figure out the waves of training that I want, so the training blocks, so to speak. I can put together a race plan. So as an example, at the end of the first training block, I may decide to run a marathon just to kind of have something interesting to do, race, check out and see how the training's going. How do I perform in a race environment rather than just training? I can do that for the whole year. So if I'm trying to run 100 miles in December, I can set myself up so that at the end of the first training block, I may run a marathon. At the end of the second training block, I may run a 50-miler and continue to progress toward that 100-mile race. But before I get into building the training plan and before I get into building a race plan for the year, I look at some of the general things that I need to do first. So as an example, when I ask myself, what do I need to become to run 100 miles? There's two areas that I know for sure throughout the whole overarching training and the whole year are going to have to be done extremely well if I'm going to give myself the best opportunity to be successful. So those two things are rest. So I know as I continue to up the miles each week and each month, I'm going to need to make sure that I'm getting plenty of rest and recovery. And the second one is nutrition. So you want to fuel your body very well if you're going to be pushing it to the limits and the boundaries of what you're capable of doing. So those are two things from the first wave all the way through to the race in December that I need to make sure on top of. And some of the things you need to do there to be successful, quite frankly, is you've got to talk to the people around you. So as an example, I know that I'm going to try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. I'm not a professional athlete. I have a job. So it's not as simple as saying I can dedicate myself to this 100%. I have to travel for work. I have a wife. I have kids. So there's going to be things that definitely come up. But what you can do to give yourself the best opportunity or the best chance of being successful is, I've already talked to my wife. She knows that my goal is to run 100-mile race, and she knows that throughout the year, I'm probably going to be trying to go to bed by 10 o'clock each evening. So there's an expectation that's been set there with her so that she can support that. She's already thought about, how does that impact our life if we're trying to go out on a weekend and things like that. She knows that she can talk to me in advance and we can make plans so that I can still get the rest that I need to accomplish my training goals and to ultimately run that 100-mile race. And it's the same thing with nutrition. My wife knows right up front that for me, my diet's going to change significantly. It already has. I started training last week, and therefore she understands that I want more vegetables in the house, that I'm not going to be eating junk food, I'm not going to be drinking alcohol, and she can kind of take that into account, in regards to her cooking and the plan for the year, whether it's, we're going to go out with friends and things like that. So the expectation's been set, and I think that's important, is when you look at any training program, those two things are the general aspects of a training program that I think throughout the entire program that you're running have to be met to give yourself the best chance to succeed, and you need the support of the people around you. Now, when we look at the training plan for the 100-mile race, I broke that down into 3 waves, basically. So the first wave is the one that I've just started here, January 2nd. I've cleaned up my diet already, like we talked about. I'm starting to try to really focus on making sure I get sleep. And this first training block, the goal is I want to increase or build my cardio base back up. So even though after the 40-mile race I ran in October, I didn't train as hard. I just kind of did maintenance work, and I allowed myself to eat some junk food and drink some beers and things like that. I'm not starting from scratch. So this first week of training was about a 35-mile week. I had a 12.5-mile long run on Sunday, and those will start to progress and increase every week of training here in this first block. So what I'm trying to do is rebuild that cardio base I had when I ran the 40-miler. I need to lose some weight, so I've gained a little bit of weight from the holiday season and things like that, like most people do. But I even want to lose more weight than where I was for the 40-mile race. And it's just simple physics. If I can lose 30 pounds or so from where I am, when I go to run 100 miles, that's 30 less pounds I have to lug along the race, the course with me. So that's another goal for this first wave. And then the third one is to increase the miles in a slow, progressive way so that I avoid injury. So by the end of this first training block, I want to be close to 50, 55 miles a week of training, probably with about a 25 to 30 mile long run, at the end of each week, but have done it in a way that my body's adapted and avoided injury. We'll do 2 more posts basically, or 2 more vlogs to talk about the rest of the training. But the next 2 blocks, just to kind of summarize, the first block is about, like I said, weight loss, building that cardio base, and increasing the miles without getting injured. The second training block, which would be probably the months of the summer, so the middle of the year kind of a thing. The goal there is going to be to continue to increase the weekly mileage and to add back-to-back long runs. So when you're training for a 100-mile race, it's not optimal, obviously, to go out on a Sunday and try to run 70 miles, right? So to replicate what your body is going to go through in that kind of environment, a lot of runners will do what they call back-to-back long runs, which means I may start to wake up and on a Saturday go out and do maybe 20 miles, and then on a Sunday follow that up with, a 40-mile effort, so that you're kind of putting your body through the ringer and getting to the pain cave really quick on that second long run, so that you can start to mentally adapt, physically adapt to those miles, and start to really challenge your body and understand what it's going to take to run that 100 miles. So and then finally, the third block, I'll add in vertical training. So this would probably be the last 8 to 12 weeks before the race in December. I'll add in a lot of vertical training. So I'll find the hills and the mountains around, where I live here in North Carolina. Go do a lot of vertical running and power hiking to get the legs used to going uphill. And then it would culminate with basically what I call like a dry run. So I'll probably go out and do, a 40 or 50 mile run and replicate everything that I would do, wear my vest, my hydration, my nutrition, change my shoes, do all those types of things as if it were the 100-mile race. So that dry run is an opportunity to basically replicate the race day and to dial in all the activities for race day. I may even have the people that'll be crewing me, if they're available, work with me on that dry run, so that we all kind of get with the program and get used to what we're doing. So that's it. That's the talk in regards to the first training block for the 100-mile race that I'll be doing in December. It's the Devil Dog Ultras. I'm going to do the 100-miler, and I hope you like the video, and I hope it's helpful. The reason that I do these videos is I want to show people that even if you are someone who's like myself, not a professional athlete, a normal guy with a job and a family, that if you really want to go for these things, there is a way for you to build your training program and to get out there and do the things you need to do and accomplish these goals. So I just try to show people that, normal folks, they're capable more than they think, and that you can go out and get these things done. So I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, go down below and give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe. There'll be more videos like this. You can follow me all year on my journey toward the 100-mile race.